All right, welcome in. This is Deepwater, normally held at Monte Del Rey's in downtown Kernersville, but here for episode 10, we're doing it from the bunker, deep below the water tower here at Glen High School. That's where my secret hideout is at. Coach Tommy Green would know that. We had to do this earlier this season. But yeah, the great part about doing this is we're streaming live through all the different platforms right now. We're on Facebook. We're on the Tobacco Road Sports Radio live stream. We're on the Glen Bobcats network. So this is exciting. I got the basketball
The
coaches
more the
with them.
merrier. The more the merrier. Let's stream everywhere. Let's get the word
Yeah,
out there.
we're on YouTube. Oh man, we're
Good.
to get it all right. I mean, we had to go through some technical difficulties to get here, but hey,
Right.
fine. We got connected to the satellite. It's tough. I'm 10 stories down. That's how deep I am. I don't even know if it's light out now or this bunker is really top secret. They keep me locked up on purpose. It's just
Let you out on game days, huh?
well, they can only take so much. So
Right.
they said, hey, we're going to put a little cot down here for you, a couple bottles of water that are left over from the concession stand. You just stay down here 24/7. Just think about Glenn. And then when, every once in a while, we'll shoot down some bananas, a little fresh air. We'll get you on here.
That's all you need, right?
Bobcat Athletics and Coach Parrish, I appreciate you being on the show. We're going to talk to Coach Smoot here in just a second as well. Talk some men and women's Bobcat basketball coming up. But before we do, like I said, this has normally been the Tommy Green experience this season when we're downtown in Kernersville at Monte Del Rey. And again, thank you to them.
I'm a little jealous. I like Mexican food.
Oh, fantastic. Largest menu I have ever seen at a Mexican restaurant. Because, I think about it, it's tortillas, meat, and cheese, right? It's just kind of those three things, like tortilla, meat, and cheese. And yet they figured out how to pack it into like 8 different pages and it's sifting through. I know everybody gets the same thing, but no, I appreciate Monte Del Rey coming on board this year, hosting Deepwater, and congratulations to Tommy Green finishing off the season strong. They opened with a win against Ledford, and then they closed the season with a win against Davie. Really good, nice way to the season. First year as a head coach. He's building the program there. It was fun, too, this last couple of weeks as the season closed to kind of see some of the football guys get the recognition they deserve. I mean, we talked about Isaiah Buford. We talked about TK King. We talked about so many of these guys, and it was great to see them kind of wrap up some awards, Coach.
Personally, I thought a few more should have made the all-conference, but I'm very happy we did have the ones that did make the all-conference. We had a few more that were very well-deserving as well. Coach Green did a great job in his first year as the head coach. I'm very happy for the success they had during the season. I'm very proud they won the last game too, which is going to help them in the offseason continue that success, continue that hunger to want to get more wins and more success and to continue to build for the future. So I'm excited for them.
And Coach, great transition there. Great segue, building for the future. And a couple of those guys are on your roster right now. But Coach Parrish, tell me about your summer, your off season, and coming off last year, 718 overall. It's a very difficult for a Central PMI conference. You know that. Everybody streaming live knows that. It's a really competitive conference. They play really good basketball in the 4A Central. But tell me a little bit about your off season and what you did to get prepared for this year.
Well, our first year coming in, it was really a learning experience, learning about the guys learning about what the staff wanted and expectations we were trying to set for this program to have. Yes, we did not have a lot of success on the court, but in the end, we actually did have success. We did win the Frank Spencer tournament. We are the champions of that. So we didn't do well as a conference as we liked, but we worked hard in the off season. We came to an understanding on what we want to be as a program and what success we want to achieve. And the guys worked really hard in the spring and summer and fall, and hopefully this season will surprise some people and have a little more success going in year 2.
You talk about not only were you that early tournament winner, you picked up a huge conference win down the road too, at home, beating Mount Tabor, and I felt like not only was that a shocker, one of the top upsets in the entire area. I mean, to knock off Tabor, which I think at the time was a top 3 team in the state. But I felt like you guys, from where the season started to that game knocking off Tabor, really showed the transformation of this program. All the different guys that I felt like you got accumulated minutes as the season went along, got better, played your style of basketball, played Glenn basketball at the end in a big game when it mattered. I wondered how much that win translated into this summer as well.
Well, it just shows when the guys we're all fully bought in, we all wanting the same thing, great things will happen. And we played well that game. We had a lot of good shots, played great defense as a team, which is what we were trying to preach to the guys. We have to be a team. We can't be individuals. And that night it all came together for us. So I'm very happy for the guys to get that win. There were some few more wins during the conference that we let slip away due to some things which are our own doing, but that's on us. We didn't do that. So, but we're happy to get that win against Tabor. They're a great program. They're very well coached. So we're excited for the year and look forward to doing better this year in the conference.
I want to talk about this roster. I want to go through, some of the names we're going to be calling out this season for you guys. But I've seen a lot on social media before I do that about really getting out there and supporting the basketball program. Can you shed some light on that about really getting the community behind the basketball boosters and what you guys are trying to do with this fundraising drive?
It takes everybody. It takes the entire community for a program to be successful. We are asking for the program's help right now to help provide team meals for the guys. We like for them to come see us on Tuesday and Friday night to show up and be loud, be proud, and cheer on Glenn basketball because the guys appreciate that. The guys need that. They need to feel the energy and support from their friends, family, and community because it goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I think every program, appreciates when their fans are really behind the team. And
yes, they do. We want to see them there in the orange and blue and ready to go. And they get there at 6 o'clock for the girls' game, and they stay for our game. And we want to show them, put on a good show for them.
And I know, hosting Deepwater this year and getting to meet the fan base and just all the coaches and players' family too, man, they love the energy of knowing you guys are there, showing up and showing off that blue and orange. So,
oh yeah, beautiful thing.
One guy you lost this season, I didn't see him on the roster, is Chancellor Owens. Did he graduate?
Yes, he graduated. He is now playing college basketball for Virginia Union. So we're very excited for him, the opportunity to play at the next level. He will be missed. He was a big part to what we did last year. I wish he had one more year eligibility, but it was time for him to graduate and go on to bigger and better things at the next level. So we're happy for him to receive an athletic scholarship at Virginia Union. So we'll be pulling for him this season. Yeah,
he was a guy last year. I couldn't, I was looking through some stuff. I couldn't tell. I couldn't remember or find that if he was a senior or junior. But, like a lot of these guys, some of the numbers don't necessarily reflect in the box score what they meant out on the floor for you guys. And I felt like he was a guy. He's only a 6'3" guy, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists a game. I know that doesn't sound gaudy, but he played with so much control and really helped steer this offense this year. How are you going to replace a general like that out on the floor?
We have a very capable guard and senior Rain Booker who's going to take the lead now and run our show for us. We have a lot of experience. We're happy Zaire Spencer, he's our glue guy. He's going to do everything. He's going to give you 110% on offense and defense, and he does not stop. I mean, he's undersized, but he rebounds with the best of them. He's not afraid of contact. And what we do depends on how hard Z's going to go. Then there's Kendrick Hines as well, another senior who's going to give everything he has for Glenn basketball, which we want everybody that's in our program to give their all for Glenn basketball. And those older guys are going to lead the way for us this year.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching Torian play last year. And then that name you just mentioned, Kendrick Hines, 9 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, the 6'2" forward. Again, when it seems like once he sees the ball go through a net, coach, all of a sudden that confidence just, you just see him, you just see the tempo pick up. It can
that's for all of them. I think that's this generation of kid. They see a little success, then all of a sudden they all want more of it. So we're happy for Kendrick. Like you just said, Jeremiah is going to play a big part in what we do. He brings a different dimension for us. He played spotty minutes as a junior, but he'll receive a lot of heavy minutes now as a senior, and we think he's more capable of leading the way for us in the post and rebounding, making his shots and playing good defense. So we're excited that he's back and ready to play for us as well. So, but like I said, all of them get excited. They make their first couple of shots, but then it becomes contagious for everybody, which is what we're trying to get across to the guys. It's do what you can to help Glenn win. As long as Glenn wins, we'll be okay.
How much of the early season, this non-conference portion, I'm going to say the rest of November and then maybe a couple weeks into December, and you can tweak these timelines. How much of it is when you go out on the court, band, cheerleaders, lights are on, is you working on your team and getting all that stuff on film and the rotations, and how much of it is saying, hey, look, we got to do this and this and this to beat the opponent? How much is inward and how much is outward in this first part of the schedule?
Well, everything is outward because we want to compete and be the best version of ourselves every night. We learn different things with each and every game. It's still early in the season. Some people are trying to solidify their spot in rotation, and some people are trying to get starting spots, which is what we want. We want everybody to be hungry and everybody to push each other for the betterment of Glenn. We want to compete with every game. Yes, we put together a scouting report for each team we play and face, but we try to put the guys in the best position to be successful to help Glenn win.
Last year, watching you guys play and then watching the Central Piedmont in the 4A, how much would you characterize 4A basketball as moving towards the college and even the pro game to where 70% of those shots are going to come from three or down low in the paint, like for a layup? I mean, I know all the analytics bear that out at the higher levels, because I talk to college women's basketball coaches that are like, hey, it either needs to be a three early in the shot clock or it needs to be a layup as the clock winds down. How much of that is in the locker room right now? Because you were talking about, hey, these young kids, they love that confidence. They love to see the ball go through the hoop. But, they're also watching the pro game. They're watching every level above them, and they're seeing, hey, look, either a three or a layup.
Yeah, that's it's kind of I want to call it a problem, but they do watch Steph and the pro guys shoot a lot of threes. But I think some of the high schools fail to realize that Steph spends 8 hours a day working on that. And we're not able to spend that kind of time to develop that type of rotation and shot form that he has day in and day out. That's his job. His job is to shoot the basketball. So we don't want to take rush threes. I think a lot of times we want to come down and jack the first three that's available to us without passing the ball. So we try to work through that. I don't mind they take a three, long as they're shot ready and it's in a good rhythm shot. They can take the shot, but I'm not a big fan of this come down and jack up threes. I like layups. Yeah. I like points. I don't care what score points. Use the top of the square, make the basket. So we can get more points and have more points at the end than the other team.
Last year, you guys averaged 50 points a contest, and I felt like that was more kind of because of your system, not because maybe you didn't always have the shooters or just couldn't score points, but you were a little bit more deliberate in the half-court offense. And, is that kind of what we see this year where, 3 or 4 passes to get a good shot and not just go down there and it just turns into we're just running wind sprints and we're just chucking up shots and the game's over. We scored 52. Okay. You had a little bit more purpose and a little bit more deliberate on offense. Is that kind of the offensive style we're going to see out of Glenn this year?
You'll see a little bit of mix and match. We want to get out and run in transition, and we also want to be able to execute in the half court. I think executing in the half court is what wins games. You can still go 100 miles an hour and jack threes, but you still need to be able to execute. I think that's something that we will continue to get better at as the program goes and the guys trust each other, learn to trust each other more. It's all about execution. It doesn't matter if it is in transition or the half court. We have to execute and make the basket, take the right shot.
What this year too, if you want to go down to you can highlight these guys any way you want, look at this roster. But, last year depth was maybe a little bit of an issue. Yes. In the front court, fouls, some of the bigs and trying to mismatch and, teams, man, I praise the 4A. It's just big time basketball, right? Coaches like yourself, they're playing the chess game.
Our conference is tough. We don't have a lot of height at Glenn. I mean, we're not going to be the tallest team, but we're going to show a lot of fight and determination, and we're going to compete for every loose ball, and we're going to box out and play the game the right way. Our guys know that. We look around and see each other. We're all the same size in there. So if we want to compete, we want to win, we have to do the little things the right way so that way Glenn can come on top at the end. I'd love to have some height, but, hey, we don't have it, so we're going to do the best we can what we have.
Well, that you're right, though. If you don't have the height, it does come down to those other things. One and done with the good box outs. I had a chance to talk to Torian this year, and we had Kendrick Hines on Deepwater earlier this season. I talked to Zaire Murphy as well. These guys are smart. I mean, right?
Yeah.
These guys done in the classroom too. How much joy do you take coaching guys that really get it? These guys want to be coached. These guys seem so coachable. They want to learn. They're academic.
They are. They're very coachable. They're very hardworking in the classroom. I think it came down to like a half a point for the highest team GPA last year between Zaire and Kendrick. So they're very competitive in the classroom, which I love. We had another player this year, Joel Hayes, a junior. He's another high academic kid as well. So I think him and Z may be going neck and neck with 4.2, 4.3s for the highest GPA for the team, which is great, which is what I preach to the guys is you're doing that for yourself to position yourself at the next level, even if it's athletics or college scholarships. If you want to go to college, you're doing that for you. So the academic piece is very important. I was very happy as well. We put 8 guys last year on the all academic team. So that is very good. Very proud of those guys for achieving that success in the classroom.
Yeah, no, it's great to see that these guys are getting it done in the classroom and are so coachable, and they want to compete, right? Mm-hmm. I saw that on the football side. You brought up a name in Joel Hayes. He played about 10 different positions on the football team, and now he's coming in. You're trying to get him up to speed as quickly as you can with these other guys on the basketball floor. Just go for some of these guys.
Joel was fitting him very well. He played his freshman year. He didn't play last year. He knows all the guys that they play pickup together. They've been playing together a long time. There's a lot of inside jokes going on, which is a good thing. That's the familiarity and confidence they have in each other, so they know each other. I think a lot of good things are going to happen with this crew this year.
I'm Mike Fanning. Well, you can see that on your screen because we're being streamed live on Glenn Sports Network, Tobacco Road Sports Radio on YouTube. We're on Twitter. Your coach Parrish, of course, they can see that. You got a nice little bubble under your name here. We're not at Monte Del Rey's. I love that place. I love the Mexican food at downtown Kernersville. I'm in a bunker below the water tower. Coach, you're probably still at school, right?
I'm still here. JV just finished up. I've finished watching those guys practice. I'm gonna start some laundry and hopefully head home at some point.
What are your hours like this time of the year?
Oh man, varsity, we practice in the morning 6 to 8. So I get to school around 5:25 each day. Then I may not leave till about 7 o'clock each day. It's a lot of long days.
How'd you get into coaching?
I always geared to it. I think it actually happened my senior year of high school. I got asked to coach in the student faculty game, and the adrenaline rush I had from coaching my peers against the teachers, and we won. I was like, I like this. I'm gonna keep doing this. So okay. I've always just stuck with it and hung around, coached at different rec leagues and youth leagues, and just worked my way up.
What have you enjoyed about coaching Glenn like last year and this year?
That's the growth in the program and the buy-in, and seeing that we're trying to change the culture and establish a good culture, a winning culture at Glenn, which Glenn deserves and Glenn needs to have. So we're working to take steps in the right direction for that. And yes, it's challenging. Yes, we have our different obstacles we go through each and every day, but the guys are buying in and things are really looking positive right now.
What are your kind of projections, for this team, not maybe necessarily early on, but let's just say, have you guys set some goals for conference play?
No, we're taking it one game at a time. We just want to try to be the best version of ourselves. That's our main thing, is worry about Glenn basketball, not be selfish, make sure we're doing the right things in the classroom, and play good Glenn basketball, because we had a great film session today from our game last night, and we saw a lot of positives in our game last night against Ragsdale. We saw some things, too, where we can improve on, and the guys realize that as well. They asked a lot of good questions, and we're talking amongst themselves about things they know which they can improve on, which is good, because the best teams are led by the players. They hold each other and themselves accountable to a high standard, and that's what we're trying to do here, Glenn.
Let's get into that Ragsdale game. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Saw some, like you said, it's early on, saw some really good performances. I'm sure some things you'd like to clean up. What was your takeaway from improving to 1-0 on the season?
I thought we came out with great intensity. With it being our first game, I think our game conditioning needs to improve. So that's on me. I think we had enough conditioning, but it's hard to replicate game conditioning and practice conditioning. We got a little tired there towards the end. A lot of guys stepped up, and it's going to make it tough on the coaching staff because I think some people may deserve some more playing time about the effort they played with last night, which is a great problem to have.
I was just going to say, it's not a problem, is it?
Yeah, yes. Please compete as hard as you can. Make us force our hand to put you in the game, which I tell the guys all the time. And a couple of guys did that. There was a lot of good things defensively and offensively that would happen too, but it's game one. They saw some things they left out there that they need to improve on. So, and we'll all get better as we get deeper into the season.
One thing kind of, just thinking about that game is, what do you feel like is going to be the best defense formula? Is it to play zone? Is it to play man? Is it to just continue to change it up? I mean, what do you think Glenn basketball on defense is going to look like this year? Is it still going to be a work in progress?
I think it's going to be a lot better than what you saw last year. I love defense personally, and that was a issue we had. I don't like people to score on me. I just don't like it at all. I don't care. So now the guys are starting to take on that mantra as well, that we're going to do whatever it takes to not let people score on us. We're going to have to do whatever it takes to win. I mean, like I said, we're not very tall, but we're scrappy. We have good speed and good length. So we're going to have to use our advantages, our talents that we have, to make sure we can come out on top.
Well, I wasn't trying to lead you into anything, because I thought the defense, for the most part, last year played pretty well. You only gave up 57 points a contest, and you often made teams adjust to your style of play. I mean, teams at times just could not go fast against you. I know it didn't translate necessarily into wins, but I feel like your defense just kind of, forced teams to kind of slug through the first half and just not really get into their rhythm. I can't tell you how many times, you pull up these box scores, somebody's coming in. They've really been firing well. They love to shoot threes. You kind of take that away. You get a little sticky on defense, and all of a sudden now, they're kind of in a little bit more of a dogfight, a little bit more of a slog, and maybe you clean up some things in the fourth quarter, and those do start translating into wins when you get some points on offense. But I felt like defense last year, I wasn't trying to tell you, I thought defense last year kind of stuck out for Glenn.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I thought it was I thought it could have been a lot better personally. Like I said, I hang my hat on playing good defense. I thought it could have been a lot better than what it was, but apparently it was pretty good last year. But it has to get better. It has to improve, and the guys know that. We left a lot of things out there last year that the guys know that it cost us some close games that we should have won. But we're going to learn and grow and look forward to this season to prove everybody wrong.
I go into these games because I called a lot of games for Tobacco Road last year when we were broadcasting Bobcat Basketball. And, I always get a chance to talk to the coaches, assistant coaches for the other team. And, they give me a list of, hey, this is what we need to do to win, boom, boom, boom. And then, by the way, Glenn's defense ain't that bad. I consistently heard that. I talked about it on the broadcast as well. Hey, they really want to get that extra pass for an open three. And they just didn't have it, for instance. And so I felt like that was something, again, just taking that from other coaches and hearing to, and again, looking at that number being under 60 points per game in the 4A, where you got some scores. Dang, you got some scores in this conference. So, come out against Ragsdale, and I thought the effort was really good.
Yeah, I thought we played well defensively, but once again, it has to ratchet up a lot more. We got tired there in the fourth and got very lax, but that's something that we're going to hang our hat on, is playing good defense. We want to take teams out of what they want to do, just to slow them down a little bit, because the teams in our conference can score. I mean, there's a lot of great scorers in our conference. I mean, every team has somebody with a D1 offer, it seems like, or D2 or D3 offer opportunity to play at the next level. So, and we're trying to get our guys to that level where they can receive those D2, D3, and D1 offers as well. So we're trying to get up there and play and compete with those guys. And it's tough. It makes our guys get better fast.
Well, winning's contagious, shooting's contagious. I think you got a great problem in your hands if you got to start divvying out minutes.
Yes,
if you got,
I hope so. I hope it continues.
What's that?
I said I hope that problem continues.
Yeah, because if you guys have a little bit more depth and can go to, somebody's having an off night and go to the bench and plug in 6-8 points from somebody, maybe a little bit deeper on the depth chart, that's going to be a good problem to have as the season goes on.
It is. And there's a couple guys that are on our bench, a couple young guys that we're excited to see when they finally figure out and just play without thinking too much. It's a little different game on the varsity level than JV level. And once those guys get acclimated to what it takes and what's required of them, I think they're going to be very well.
Who are some of those young guys? Is Galloway one of those?
We have Derek Griffin. He's a junior. He played JV for us last year. He's been playing out of his mind. I've been very impressed with Derek. He's been giving everything he has. Claude Neely, he goes by Champ. He's starting to come along and figure it out as well. We have let's see, there's Jalen McNeil. He's out with a foot injury right now, but he's a big body that's going to help us out down low and take some pain off of Jeremiah, so he's not getting banged up the entire time, and Kendrick as well. So we just need Jalen to heal up a little bit, but there's plenty of time for that. It's still November, so we're not worried at all.
All right. Well, hey, Coach, I just I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being on Deepwater. Best of luck this season. We'll definitely follow playing basketball here on Tobacco Road. And I think the record was misleading last year. People, I think, saw, hey, they were 7-18 and had one win in conference play. I don't think they realized how many of these games were ultra competitive until crunch time. And I think you figure that little piece of that puzzle out.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. We're trying to put our guys in those situations to where they can be successful, and I'm excited for them. I think we're going to surprise some folks, like I said, and we're ready for those crucial moments in the fourth quarter to make plays. I think we're up for it this year. We're going to make those plays.
Now, I hope you have a great non-conference play. And like you said, you guys are clicking. The bench is deeper. The scores are scoring. And when you get ready for conference play, and I hope it's a great season. Coach Parrish, I appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we're going to – now, is Shawn with us for the ladies' side? Trying to talk to our producer here. We'll see if we can get Shawn on. Smoot, part of the head coach for the Glen ladies basketball team.
He said no Shawn. Oh, man. Try to call him real quick.
Okay. We are streaming live, and I can fill a little bit while we get some communication on maybe trying to get Shawn on the program. Glen ladies last year, 3-22. Here.
Hey, you gonna get on the you gonna get on the clip? Yeah, take the email.
And this is Deepwater here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio Live. I appreciate you coming on this afternoon.
Desmond Johnson sent it to your work email.
On boys basketball team.
Desmond Johnson.
This is something we do every Tuesday night from Monte Del Rey Restaurant in downtown Kernersville. Big thank you to Monte Del Rey, who were hosting us this season. We did 9 episodes live where we had a chance to sit down with head football coach Tommy Green, some of the players and coaches there, enjoy some great Mexican food, talk Glen athletics. And now we're going to get an update from Coach Parrish. What did you learn?
And to join the call now.
Okay.
So let's give him a few minutes. He's going to try to join us here.
Well, while we have a little bit more time with you, Coach, Harrison, Torian, Hines. I'm looking at your starters right now. Harrison, Torian, Hines, Murphy. Who else is going to probably start in this lineup?
We got Rain Booker. He's a senior. He's our point guard. He played great last night. He had 6 assists with 5 charges last night, which is huge. It's huge. And he had 4 or 5 steals. Devontae Harrison, he's a senior as well. He had 14 points last night. He played great defense, another 2 or 3 steals, 4 or 5 assists. Joel Hayes, he started as well for us last night. He had 14 points, a couple steals and deflections as well. So I'm very happy for the guys. Z was in foul trouble last night. It's one of those games, but he still gave us everything he had, rebounding the basketball. The fouls just got the best of him last night. A couple of them I thought were just Z playing basketball, but hey, it is what it is. So, and Jeremiah had good rebounds and a couple steals as well. So I think that first group is gelling well. They're playing hard, and the guys off the bench are excited and pulling for each other, which is what you want. And like I said earlier, the guys on the bench are hungry for more minutes. And I'll tell them every day, like, if you want to play, force my hand. Do what you need to do so where I don't need to take you off the court. So, and I think they're starting to get that, and they want to compete, and they want to help Glen win, which is the main thing. So once we learn that, it's all about Glen basketball. I think we're going to have some success this year.
Yeah, and Hines averaged 9 points a game last year. Torian 8, Harrison 5.5, Murphy just a couple, but I felt like he, again, kind of like Chancellor Owens last year too. His impact was a lot bigger than anything you saw in the box score.
Yes.
You're talking about number 30, Derek Griffin, the junior coming in. I see he's at 6'1". Where do you see him kind of fitting into this offensive rotation? Is he going to be playing more of a point guard position or kind of out in the wing?
Derek can he's either going to play 1, 2, or maybe even 3 for us right now. He can handle the ball if we need him to, which is a great thing. He can get us into our stuff, which is great. He can play off the ball as well. And what's one of Derek's key thing is he's a very smart young man, and he gets it. He's able to point out where people need to be and direct traffic for us, and he communicates very well, which is something we want all the guys to do. So he's constantly talking on offense and defense, which is only going to help him get a lot of minutes because he's going to be constantly talking, constantly be in the right position to do what it needs to help us win, which is what it's about.
Talk about being a defensive-minded coach while we wait on Coach Shawn here to join us for the ladies basketball program. Just a few more seconds here with Coach Parrish. Early on in the season, being a defensive-minded coach, getting back on transition and communicating where the switch is, especially if it's a 3-on-3 or maybe even a 3-on-2 fast break, where to go on defense. How does that handle out on the floor? Is that just guys communicating with each other? Is that just something from just a repetition point in practice? Is that just, hey, everybody stop the ball first? How does that work in early in the season when you got kind of working with a new group early on?
That starts in the fall. That starts in the fall with teaching them the basics of how we want to play defense and how we want to pick up in transition, stop the ball early, then pick up whoever is near you. Then you can talk or switch if you need to. And it just starts with teaching that early, walking through in reps. We can teach it. We practice it for 20 plus minutes every day, but until they see it in live action, it's not truly going to make sense. And that's why I think today was a great film session, because they were able to see some of the things that we're talking about by picking up the people in transition and how to rotate. They're like, oh, I get it. I need to go there. Yes. And so that's something we do every day. We work on stopping the basketball. We work on our rotations, work on being in the right spot, because that's all that it's going to do is just help us win in the end.
Tip your hand just a little bit, just coach speak wise. What's that magic number? And I'll preface it by saying, talking to college coaches, they know, hey, look, we're going to turn it over 10 times. I preach 0 turnovers. We're always, the baseline though is going to be 10 turnovers from a college game, but we need to keep it under 15. Okay. What's your baseline? What's your ideal? If I'm coming to a basketball game, what's that threshold for turnovers that?
Oh, we need to keep it under 15, especially this early. We're going to start at 15, and
15.
I'll love to get it to 10 by January, but we will stick at 15 now because we're still learning how to play together in live action. So I think 15 right now. We were over that last night, but I think with more times, the guys realized that there were some drop passes that they should have caught, and there were some things that they just miss. We tried some back doors. The communication wasn't great, but those are things we all can clean up. I mean, there were a few that were just really bad, but a lot of them were us trying to do the right thing, which I can live with. I may not like it in that moment in live action, but when I go back and watch it later, I'm like, oh, I see what they were trying to do now. Okay, it's not bad. It's okay. We can't ding them for that, but that was a good play. But turn the ball over.
I think that's an excellent number. It's funny. I was again just talking to some coaches last year, and then kind of where you're at. They're like, our goal is 13. Our goal is 13. We know that bottom. We know we're going to just have 10 turnovers. But the way we look at it is both teams are going to have 10 turnovers. Who makes more mistakes after that? Because if we make 13 and they make 12, that may be one more bucket, and that's the difference in why we're losing by 2 or 3. So I like that number. I like what you're doing there, saying, hey, let's come in at 15. Let's try to work that number down to 10, because 13, man, that's still a great number to shoot for.
Yeah, it's still a lot of turnovers, man. That's a lot of lost possessions right there, and especially in the fourth quarter, you want to keep that turnover number down to 3 or less in the fourth quarter, because that's when the possessions really matter in the fourth quarter in tight ball games, which I foresee us being in some tight ball games, close ball games this year. We have to value the basketball late and execute late.
Wait on Coach Smoot to join us here. You get a chance to watch the ladies practice? I mean, I know you're sharing the gym, but do you two coaches talk?
Yeah,
off-season?
we talk every day. I don't get to watch their practices because, like I said, my group, the varsity crew, we go in the morning 6 to 8, so that way we can get the entire gym to ourselves. So we're done, and my guys have gone home about 3:40. Then JV practices at 6 to 8. I may stick around a little bit and watch some of the JV guys and get the laundry done, get ready for the next day. But yeah, we speak every day, and we're trying to work on things together to make sure that Glenn basketball is getting better and going in the right direction.
Yeah. What have you seen on your JV side early in the season?
Those guys are young and hungry. They're really hungry. Once they figure out how to play together, I think they're going to surprise some people. They're lightning quick too. I mean, there's a lot of speed in that young team. So I'm excited for those guys, and some of them are growing, which is a great thing. So I'm very excited to see how tall they're going to actually be. They're going to fit those size 13 shoes finally that we ordered for them. So let's see how far they can stretch on out.
Again, I think Coach Shawn will be here any second. So that gives me time to ask one more question. Last week, maybe Thursday, we learned that Glenn is going down to 6A. Okay, 8 classes of the reclassification. North Carolina moving to 8 different classifications, and Glenn going to 6A. And again, it has nothing to do with what the athletic directors or what the boosters say. This is all about your attendance and your rolling attendance number. So Glenn going to 6A. You like that decision? I mean,
I think that's the best decision for Glenn athletics as a whole. In our conference now, we're competing with schools that have 2,000 kids or 1,700. We're sitting at low 1,500, high 1,400s. And, so for us to compete, I think we need to drop down to a different level. It's still going to be some great competition. The 6, it's not going to be easy, but I think that will fit the profile of our school and what we can do and how we can compete, and will definitely help Glenn be a little better moving forward.
I think when they announced the 8 classification rule, I think there was some eye rolls, and there was because part of it is you want to play with the best. And I think that was always, hey, look, we're in the top division. We're playing with the best when we win. But on the same foot, you're like, the 8 classifications came out, and it's like, yeah, these are the kind of schools we should be competing against. It just wasn't right going against a West Forsyth, which has nearly double the population that you guys do. So I haven't talked to anybody within high school athletics that hasn't liked this 8 classification change.
Oh, I'm for it. I think it's going to be great moving forward because I think it will balance the playing field a little bit. And, there's a lot of schools that West has 1,000 more kids than us. I mean, so you have more bodies to do different things than what we have, which is a good problem for them to have. But, Glenn needs to be in the conference and a classification where Glenn can compete across the board in all sports. We want our baseball program to do well. We want our football team to do well. We want our soccer programs to do well as well. So we want to make sure that Glenn athletics across the board is put in a position to have success.
Well, just got it. I agree. And I think it'll also give you an opportunity to kind of develop some new rivalries, going back to some old rivalries.
We'll definitely keep that East rivalry will never go away. But we'll definitely keep playing those guys down the street, and we'll keep Parkland us because they're close and they're a rivalry as well. But it's time to get back some old rivalries. But who knows? I'm interested to see what the conference they're going to draw up, what it looks like. I mean, there's 10,001 rumors going out there about where we're going to be and who we're going to be with, but you never know till the state puts that out there. So we'll see from there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely not alone in that. I know it's the same in Guilford County and the other coaches I talked to in Forsyth County. Everybody wants to know, hey, we want to find out who we're playing right now.
Yeah. I know, especially for football guys, how are they going to schedule next year? They don't even know where they're going to be here. What's their conference going to be like? So they may schedule somebody that may be a non-conference game, could be a conference game. So everybody's just kind of
having a homecoming date right now. And it's like, okay, hold on now. So Well, it doesn't look like we're going to have Coach Shawn on the show. Fortunately, just can't connect and make it. We'll get a chance maybe to sit down with him some other time, as we're already 40 minutes into the stream. Coach, I just really appreciate it. Before I let you go, just a big thanks to Glenn High School, Tobacco Road Sports Radio, Monte Del Rey, where we hosted Deepwater, Desmond Johnson from
We got to go, man. We got to go.
Just been fantastic, and our live stream here with Coach Parrish, and hey, best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be out there supporting the team.
All right. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, Coach.